Hi, welcome back to Meraki Unboxed. My name's Simon Thompson, host of the show, and thank you for joining us and taking time out of your day to listen to our podcast. We've been doing now over 60 episodes. We have a whole bunch of them in the can, and as I say many times, there is a lot of really good content, and it is definitely worth going back through the archives. Very little there that's time sensitive, so you can definitely learn a lot about our organization and the world of IT generally by going back and having a look at our previous episodes. Today we're going into technology mode, and we're going to be taking a look at one of the newest, shiniest features at Cisco Meraki. But just before I dive into that, I just want to remind you that this podcast runs every 2 weeks, and we would love to have you as a subscriber and a regular contributor to this show as well. If you're not subscribed already, please do look for that subscribe option in your podcast app. And also, if you have any suggestions or ideas, or even if you'd like to participate in the podcast, we absolutely love getting participation from our audience. So please do reach out, and you can find me on Twitter. My handle there is @MerakiSimon. And, send me a message, and I'm always there. I will definitely respond. We'd love to have you involved. So without further ado, let's get into today's episode. And we're going to be introducing Meraki's newest product manager. I'm really excited to have Nikitha with us today. Nikitha, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. And thanks, Simon, for making me a part of this podcast. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you as well. And so please do introduce yourself. Let us know who you are and how you came through your career to the point that you're at Meraki.
Absolutely. So my name is Nikitha Shashidhar. And like you said, I'm the newest product manager for Meraki Insight, which is the analytics platform on the MX devices. And yeah, so I've been in Meraki for about 4.5 years. I joined Meraki as a network support engineer. So I came in here, I was new to the Bay Area. I was looking for opportunities, and Cisco Meraki just happened to, come my way. And I'm so glad that it happened. I remember my first day when I came into the office. I loved the culture, I loved the people, and I'm like, I gotta go work here. As in when I was like working on these cool products that we're building, I was also looking at career opportunities. And then there were so many opportunities that were in front of me, but product management was something that I really wanted to, get into. And it was an area that it was very curious. Like, you get to work with a lot of people, get to interface with a lot of people. And the opportunity was there. There were a lot of my manager back then and my friends from product management team, really helped me and guided me on how I can move from, the network engineer role into the product management role. And here I am. I love what I do. I love the team I work with. I think without that, the push and the guidance, I would have probably not been here. So yeah, I love what I'm doing. And it's all thanks to the opportunity and the friends I have back at Meraki.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the things that I think we get right is helping people to progress through the organization. So if they have the interest, they have the acumen, they put the work in, then the sky's the limit, really. I mean, we've had some phenomenal stories of progress through the business, and so congratulations on your promotion.
Thank you, Simon. Yeah, I think hard work really pays off, and the recognition is there in Meraki. So very, very grateful for that.
All right, so now we're going to get into the work part of it, and so we're going to get you to talk about this product. Very excited to hear more about it. We have already shared, obviously, the title of this episode. It's around root cause analysis, so we're going to dive into that today. But to set the scene, let's go back and recap some of the history around Meraki Insight, this product we launched, what was that, about 3 or 4 years ago now, I guess, and how it fits into Meraki Health.
Yeah, it was 3 or 4 years ago. That's right. The conception of the product, or why the product even exists, came with the problem that we wanted to solve of like why application issues happen. What is the reason why, when customers are accessing an application in-house or in the cloud, what is the area? Where is the area that is causing performance degradation? So we came up with Meraki Insight's first portfolio was web app health. And then we slowly launched WAN health, which is about the network performance, and VoIP health, which is about VoIP and video performances. So the main reason for why the product exists is to make sure that we solve the customer's pain point of like where in the application is the performance degradation happening. And the root cause analysis is mainly talking about that and diving deeper and, trying to make sure that we can really reduce the mean time to resolution for our customers.
Yeah, and I love what's happened in this space over the last few years because when I started as a network engineer, that was an embarrassingly long time ago now. I remember trouble tickets saying things like the network's slow, and everything was blamed on the network every single time. And for sure, there are multiple layers within a network, both LAN and WAN, that could potentially impact performance, but it doesn't always land with the network engineer as responsible for whatever that slowdown is. So I love this extra insight that we now provide.
Actually, users do come back to us and say, hey, how can we make sure that the network admin is not taking responsibility, and how can we prove ourselves, that we're not guilty of it? So it's
Nice.
funny, and we've done that, and it's really nice when they come back and say, hey, this tool really helped us, so thank you. It's a satisfying feeling.
Yeah, and we've definitely been adding a lot to the platform as the time's gone on as well. So I mean, this basic concept, as you said, of web app health and network health, those have been with us for a little while, but we've been increasing the sophistication of those with newer technologies, right?
Yeah, so we've been adding a lot of newer tools and newer ways to kind of gather data and work around with data and play with data. And what I mean by that is adding intelligence into the platform. Meraki is known for our data lake, right? We have so many data points. We have the breadth of the products, and we have so many customers as well, globally distributed. So we do want to make sure that with this data that we have, that we're giving them accurate results and not overwhelming them, and really making sure that we're showing what our customers want to see. So we're adding a lot of intelligence. We're investing in ML and AI technologies to bring this data and bring this data in a meaningful way and show this data in a meaningful way on dashboard.
And it's not only, of course, the technology itself, but it's also the context in which these products exist. In other words, what's been going on in the world and what have been some of the trends that have been affecting the development of the product.
Absolutely. And, we can't forget the recent trend that has happened, which is the pandemic, right? So even before that, the industry was moving towards SaaS. So, we have a lot of research saying how businesses right now are moving from in-house application hosting to SaaS application hosting. So this trend will continue as we move. So we started off with 25% of businesses moving into SaaS. Now is slowly becoming into 40%. So this number is going to increase as the years go by. So that was definitely a trend that we were following, but pandemic definitely accelerated that. With everybody working from home, IT admins really found it difficult to troubleshoot the application issues because everyone has different network behaviors, and some are in remote locations with like really chirpy, network connections, and the other one have really good network connections. So how can an IT admin, look at such very different and resolve it, within a given time? So this was one of the reason why this feature in the product really helped our IT admins and our customers as well.
Yeah, that challenge of looking at remote locations has always been there, but of course the pandemic, I guess, in a sense, everybody's remote now, so it's just doubling that challenge, and becomes all the more important that we've got great visibility for those remote locations. No, that makes a lot of sense, and also that move to SaaS. I mean, frankly, 40%. I'm amazed that the number isn't higher by this point in history. But I guess it shows we've got a long way on this journey still to go. And obviously, these tools are going to help give customers the confidence to move ahead with that. Let's dive into what's new. So this root cause analysis, what is it, and how does it move the game forward?
Yeah. So we kept the name very simple, right? The root cause analysis basically tells you what is the root cause for why the issue exists. This was launched, in June, July of this year, and this looks at the application issues. So what we've heard customers say is like, hey, why, while we know that the application is having a problem, and, right now the product tells you if it's the LAN, WAN, or the server, there can be varied reasons on the LAN, WAN, and server that causes this problem. Now, what is that reason, right? And it's while it's easy for them to go and dive deep, and we've narrowed the focus, We wanted to narrow it further and bring them to their attention to actual cause of the issue. So while we know the Meraki ecosystem, and if a customer has like the end-to-end platform play, it's easy for this tool to kind of look into that Meraki ecosystem while we look outward and identify what is the cause for why this application is behaving so poorly, and really give them the next steps as well. So yeah, it's a new feature that works on our app health portfolio of the product.
And I've seen a demo of this. But maybe you can just describe, what typically happens when it's being used, and when something happens.
Absolutely. So let's talk about, if you've used the Meraki Insight product, the landing page of the app health, quickly gives you, is it the LAN, WAN, or the server is the issue. Now, what RCA does is it concentrates on, the root cause. So if your WAN is the issue, we tell you exactly what in the WAN is causing it. Is it a high ISP, packet loss, or is it the saturation of your uplink? So if you have configured alerts on the application health, you will receive an email. The email will have a link, and it will tell you the context of the root cause of the issue, and it'll tell you the timestamp and the network that is being affected, along with the link. So clicking the link will then get you onto the dashboard, and the dashboard will then have a banner that will tell you what is the root cause, and it'll have a link that says see recommendations. Clicking on that will open up a slide out panel, which will then tell you the evidence, the impact, and also the next recommended steps on how you can really fix the issue. Not only that, while email can be overwhelming, and it's not something that is that all our customers use as a form of reacting to an issue, the dashboard also has Alert Hub, which is a part of the Meraki Health that it's the Meraki ecosystem health that it looks into, and the Alert Hub also houses the root cause analysis as well. So if you do click on Alert Hub, which is an icon that moves around on the dashboard, expanding that will also give you bring your attention to this alert as well. So there are two ways that you can really get into this. And the granular details exist on the dashboard, so you can really, once you know the root cause, dive deep into it and resolve it. That's what we want our customers to do.
I'm really grateful to you for highlighting the Alert Hub as well, because I think that's also a relatively new feature. Some listeners may not have seen that yet, so that's a pretty cool new one, and so it's great that this is integrated as well.
Yeah, and it's around the same time that we launched the Alert Hub as well. It is pretty recent, and it, like I said, floats around on all parts of dashboard. And it houses not just Meraki Insight, but your MX, your MR, your MX problems, and really draws your attention to the critical alerts over there. So we want to get more intuitive and more better at the way we can show data to our customers, and Meraki Health is initiative towards that.
I think one of the things I really like about the way that we've implemented this is the evidence piece that you mentioned. That's really cool because I know that obviously technology can help us to solve problems and use this sort of artificial intelligence, if you like, to suggest what is broken and why it might be broken. I think showing the evidence for that is awesome because it just lets the network engineer understand, okay, this is why the dashboard thinks there is a challenge and where it thinks there may be the problem. So that just means that I've got the granularity that I thirst for as a network engineer, that I used to have in spades, of course, with a simple command line interface way back in the day. We're sort of replicating that in a sense by providing the evidence people want to see.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. And that's exactly what we want our customers to have, the validation point, right? We want to make sure that they can validate that what they're thinking and what they're seeing and what a neutral outside data point is saying, which is what we want our root cause analysis to do, is accurate, so that they can having that point of source of truth coming in from the Meraki ecosystem really helps them validate it and resolve it as soon as possible. So it's as good as having another team member on your a team to kind of help validate it. So that's exactly what we want our customers to have.
Yeah, that's very cool. Let's dig a little bit deeper. I would love to know some of the areas that we look at as we're kind of analyzing with the dashboard, and how does it actually get into that level of extra detail?
So when we say root cause analysis, and I've mentioned this before, be it on the LAN, the WAN, or the server, there can be so many reasons as to why the performance degradation on these domains are happening. So as and when we do add new root causes to this feature, we are now concentrating on the WAN issue, because that's the area where you don't have a lot of control over. You need more visibility, and it kind of like can be a space of not much of knowledge for our customers as well, or not much of control, like I mentioned. So we're looking at basically 6 issues that we currently can dive into, and customers can understand why the performance is happening or where the cause of the issue is. So these 6 issues are performance degradation, which is very in general, just telling our customers, hey, you do have a performance degradation on the WAN, so look into it. But getting deeper into that, we have ISP issues. We do let them know that, okay, the reason why your application is performing is because of some outward, external factor. There is high latency over VPN. There's uplink saturation. There's dual active MXs and traffic shaping rule saturation. While these are the 6 reasons why we look at. Let me kind of like dive deep and give a little bit of like how you can utilize this feature, and what, like in a real scenario, how would you look into this?
Yes, would love that.
So think of like you're trying to access an application, right? For example, a SaaS application in the cloud. When a customer complains of an issue, and say you get a call saying you have a user's experiencing really poor performance, and that means like high page load times. What that can mean is usually, you have a saturation in your uplink. Usually it's not very evident, and that's not one thing that customers dive deep into, or kind of like you're troubleshooting and you look into if your uplink is saturated. That is where the root cause analysis looks into your WAN link and your WAN uplink and your ecosystem, and understands, is this the saturation right for your application? And then it tells you that, okay, uplink saturation is the reason why your application is suffering of poor performance, and who are the clients that are impacted because of this. So it not only tells you that there's an issue, but it also gives you the scale of the impact. Is it all the customers, or is it few customers? So is this a larger issue or a smaller issue? And then we give you the evidence. So the fact that we know, and then looking at your network, with your data, and we can evaluate and tell you what is good, what is bad. We can, effectively tell you if you're highly confident that this is the root cause, or we're not that confident. So you can get that validation point. Like you can also like rely if this is something that I really have to believe in or not. So we do want to make sure that our customers trust in our data as well. And then with that, we do give you the next recommended steps. So while, there can be very different ways to kind of resolve this, we do say, is this something that you can get into your settings, your Meraki settings and your policies, and you can tweak that? Or is this something of the external factor that you need to probably call your ISP and like talk to them as well? So we give you quick next recommended steps to resolve the issue and remediate it at a faster rate. So that's one of the examples that I can mention about like how our customer recently has resolved this as well.
Yeah, I love that you went through that uplink saturation one, because there's going to be a few people listening, I'm sure, who don't run networks themselves. They're just interested in the technology, and I think everybody has had an experience with uplink saturation by now, largely at home, right? This happens a lot at home, especially where we have a lot of asynchronous internet connections. The upload bandwidth is usually lower, and we've got all these cloud apps that we run on, backing up photos on our phone devices, whatever it happens to be. It's so easy for performance to degrade as a result of large amounts of data being sent upstream, just affecting those TCP/IP acts. I guess that's a lot what it's got to do with. So that seems like something that everybody can relate to in a way, but it's very interesting that as we move to the cloud, obviously there's more and more of that back and forth traffic. So that uplink needs to be clean to keep those running smoothly.
Yeah, and you're so right there, Simon. And recently, I was talking to a customer and about how this root cause analysis has really helped, their productivity. And to mention that, this is, the customer that I was talking about is based in Florida, and they are a huge retail system or a huge retail company, and they have inventory systems which they kind of like need to keep a constant tab into to make sure that the goods are coming in and the customers are getting their goods delivered in the right time as well. So there was this time when the people at the warehouse were having trouble accessing their inventory system. And they weren't sure as to what it was happening and what was the reason. So they were thinking it's more on the land side, and they were looking into that. But having this tool and the IT admin quickly looking into the Meraki Insight tool with the root cause analysis, it quickly identified that this was because of an ISP issue. Having high packet loss is the reason why they're having trouble looking at their inventory system. And it also showed the impact as well. So yes, these were the customer or the users who were trying to access it, that they were having troubles accessing the inventory system. So, obviously this is out of their control, and quickly they called their provider and made sure that this was fixed in time. This really saved a lot of, downtime and saved a lot of like productivity hours, non-productivity hours, and made sure that they kind of like got the issue resolved as soon as possible. So when I heard this, it just literally brought a smile on my face, and this is exactly what we want our product to be doing to our customers, like making sure they not only resolve issues at time, but also kind of have that validation point that we spoke about before, and also increase their productivity as well. So yeah, that's exactly what we want our customers to be having, that kind of experience.
That's the reward, isn't it, for you as a product manager, is to actually hear that the tool, the functionality that you've added and overseen the adding of into the portfolio is actually making a difference in the real world. So cool.
Yeah, this is why I wake up every day and I want to do what I do, and I love what I do. And this is the Meraki products in itself is a perfect example for it. We make products that our customers can really truly use it and get to not only resolving their issue, but also increase their productivity as well. So love what I do.
Very cool. Okay, so how do we take advantage of this root cause analysis? How do people actually ensure that they've got that, and how do they actually sort of check it out and learn more about it?
Yeah, so for those customers who already have Meraki Insight or the SD-WAN Plus license, you can take advantage of this. So this does not require any firmware upgrades. It's a part of the license. So as and when we release features, it becomes a part of the portfolio with no like firmware upgrades or extra costs. And yeah, for those customers who are looking to really leverage this tool, they can talk to their sales and really get onto the trial and test this out and see how this really benefits their network and their organization.
I think one more thing I should ask you before we go is what's next. So we've developed this great tool, and as with everything else, there's always opportunity for taking it to the next step and make it even more feature rich than it was before. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so we want to really dive deep into this, because we've seen value, we've seen customers come back and say this has really helped them. While now we look at the WAN issues, we want to extend that to the LAN and the server issues. We want to make sure that we give accurate results for our customers on the LAN and on the WAN as well. So while we add more and more features to the WAN side of the root causes, we'll be extending this to LAN and WAN. And while we do that, what we want to do is on the application side, as and when the industry is moving more towards the SaaS, security is definitely becoming the top of mind for all our customers. And we want to make sure that we also provide secure data. But with that, application is becoming more and more encrypted. So, we're trying to invest more in how we can really make sure that even with applications becoming encrypted, we can provide that value for our customers to identify where, the application performance degradation is happening. So investing a lot in intelligence and ML and AI technologies, which we're already doing and continuing to do that, to really drive into automation so that networks can heal by itself with, a less touch or like really zero touch kind of experience for our customers. So we want networks to self-heal and get to resolution by itself.
Yeah, that's the holy grail we're all pursuing. So let's hope we're going to get there. I feel pretty confident because it's certainly the trend. If you look at what we've done already, we're building in some pretty smart stuff, and as you said, we've got this vast amount of data that we can leverage to help refine that and get better and better over time. So an exciting future ahead for sure.
We're on the right path. Yeah, I believe in it.
Absolutely. So you mentioned already that customers can try this out and the licensing that's required for it. And of course, I guess they can learn more as well if they go to our website. Where's the best place to look for that?
Yeah, so you can go to our documentation to learn more about the root causes. Like I said, I've just spoken about the application root causes, and Meraki Health will house a lot of other root causes as well. So we'll be adding in more. So if you want to learn more on the, what's on other products and how we're looking at leveraging such technologies on other products, the documentation portal on Meraki website will be able to kind of like really help you and guide you on the new upcoming ones and also the ones on the existing as well. And if you want to demo this, we do have a demo environment, and you can probably contact your sales or your account team and see how you can leverage this demo as well. And they will, you can walk through this. And, the best of all, I would say try it out. Try it out and see how it really uplifts the experience of, identifying the issues so quickly and validating it and resolving it. So try it out on your network. But yeah, your account teams and your sales team should be able to help you with that.
Fantastic. And I mean, we should, as we wrap up, we should just remember that what we mentioned near the start around your own sort of career development and the opportunities at Meraki. I understand that there are a few roles open in product management right now, or in your sort of world. Is that correct?
That is right, Simon. And like I said, and I've been, saying in parts of this session over here that, I love what I do and I stand by it. If you want to work at a company that truly encourages, your passion and your skills and, gives you that freedom to really work and be creative, I think, this is the best place to kind of work. And yes, we do have the roles open on various products. So where the passion lies, if you see that, please join us. And then, would love to have more people come and work on such innovative ideas and portfolios coming forward.
100%. And it's not just in product management as well. Whatever your interest is, we can find something. Have a look at jobs.meraki.com and see what's up there. We would love to have you join us. All right, so Nikitha, thank you so much for taking us through RCA. That's been a really good overview. I think we've got a good understanding now of the extra depth that we've introduced into this product. So thank you for taking time out to join us.
Absolutely. Loved being here. Thanks for having me, Simon.
Awesome. All right, so and thank you, listeners, for being part of this show as well. Your listening to this is what makes this worth doing. This is why we keep this going every couple of weeks. So that's why I always say you are an important part of this process. And as I always say, I would love to have you involved. So do reach out if you'd like to be part of the podcast, or if you've got an idea for a show, something you'd like us to talk about. I'm sure I can grab the people needed to make that happen. So do that, and we will be back again in a couple of weeks. So until then, stay well, and we will see you soon. Bye for now.